We have the champion, Brandon Moreno, versus Deiveson Figueiredo, number 3. The boys are running back to trilogy. First time was a draw. The second time was a decisive victory in dominant fashion by Brandon the Assassin Baby Moreno. He's coming in at 19-5-2, the Mexican-born champion, the first in the UFC history. Second, maybe. Cain Velasquez was born in Mexico. He's coming at 5'7" with 70-inch reach. And Deiveson Figueiredo is coming at 22-1. He's coming in at 5'5" with a 68-inch reach. This flyweight championship promises to have sparks yet again for the third time. The first fight was absolute banger. Absolute banger. These guys went to town on each other. Second fight, Brandon Moreno came with a game plan. And he fucking did the damn thing, did he not? He did the fucking thing. And he took that belt from Deiveson. I see it going the same as the second fight. I think Brandon Moreno really cracked the code against Deiveson Figueiredo. And, it comes down to simple. Who is going to be the guy pressuring forward? The first fight, even though it was a draw, regardless of the point taken, Deiveson Figueiredo would have won that fight because he was pressuring. And he throws those power shots, right? For 125, that's his game plan. He throws big looping shots and puts people out. Now, in the second fight, Brandon Moreno came back, put a beating on him because he had the pressure. He had the octagon control, and he was coming forward. Deiveson Figueiredo could not throw those power shots when he was on his back foot. And I think the big thing was the takedowns in both fights. Brandon Moreno definitely won the grappling. So, I see the quick boxing, kickboxing that Brandon Moreno has, technicalities, just going to work again, just like the second fight.
Well, here we are again, where I see it completely differently. I was largely impressed by the debut, of Coach Henry Cejudo when freaking Rose Namajunas versus Zhang Weili 2 happened. And I'll go to my grave. Look, not that it really matters, not that anybody cares, but Zhang Weili won that fight in my book. Enough said. But her takedown and takedown defense, her ground game, looks significantly better than it had in the past. Obviously, she still got taken down a couple of times. There were still a couple of mistakes, but that was not her strength. That was not where she was any good, and she looked leagues better when she started working out with Cejudo. Figueiredo comes into this match with a grappling background. Not grappling background. He's not all-world BJJ like Rodolfo Vieira, but he's choked out his fair share of dudes. He's a good wrestler. He's a big dude in the division. He's got good takedown defense. I don't know how to explain the second fight other than anomaly. I think both of these guys are going to try their fair share of takedowns in this fight. I don't think either one of them is going to see much success. I think this fight looks a lot similar to the first fight where they trade exchanges on the feet. It'll go back and forth. Both of them will win exchanges. I think it'll come down to a close decision, and I think Coach Cejudo gets redemption. I think Figgy gets his belt back by very close, controversial, but unanimous decision. And I think just oddly enough, we're going to be put in that position where we have to see what the UFC does. Do we do a fourth fight? Do we just keep running this one back, or do we let someone else fight for the belt? Or it's the Max and Volkanovski paradox. What do we do now?
Well, I think the first fight proved something to both fighters. Even though they're 125ers and knockouts are pretty rare in 125, Brandon Moreno has the chin of all chins in that division. I think he put in display. He took everything that Deiveson had and took it to the bank. He said, all right, come again. Let's do this. We're going to stand here and we're going to bang, right? But, that didn't win him the fight. But when he noticed that he's on the back foot, he can't throw those power shots, and he's not going to pick you apart boxing from the back foot. So that's the key to my fight. Whoever is pressuring here, I think is going to win the fight. And I think if I could bet on that, I'd bet everything I got. Whoever is fucking winning the pressure and the octagon control is going to win this fucking fight.
Here's a factor for me, and I'm not sure that this is one that everybody touches on. But Henry Cejudo used to fight at flyweight. I think that that's going to be enormous in the fact that usually Deiveson Figueiredo has a horrible time making weight, looks like shit after he makes weight, and honestly, that probably is plays in a factor at least into his performance in the last fight. Certainly was a factor in the first fight. He looked horrible. He looked like shit physically, but working out and being in the room constantly with somebody who knows how to make that 125 weight cut, I'm sure there's tips and tricks and things that he's picking up. So physically, I expect him to look better, and I expect him to be more prepared to play this fight to the long run. Attitude-wise, I'm sure he wants to go out there and kill him. He's a pretty angry dude. God of War, Dice Daguerre, like he's a pretty angry dude. The press conferences, he's a pretty, scary guy. But I'd like to see him prepared for 5.
Don't get me wrong, dude. I love me some Deiveson Figueiredo. I think he's probably one of the most exciting fighters in that division. And I called for him last time. Go back, watch the video. I said that Deiveson was a win. Came out flat, came out like shit. But he learned some lessons. Hopefully, he can come back, maybe get his belt back. But I mean, the boxing, the technicality in the boxing that Brandon Moreno has, and his heart is probably underrated. There's some intangibles in MMA, and I think Brandon Moreno probably has all of them, especially since like his path to becoming the champion has just been, really off kilter. You don't see that very much, right?
No, I mean, I agree. He's an inspiring dude, and I have nothing but nice things to say about him as a person. I think we're going to see a revamped Figueiredo. I think we're going to see, a more similar guy to what we saw in fight 1, but something completely different all at the same time. Definitely not similar nearly to what he looked like the second time around. Whether that's enough to beat Moreno is what I'm banking on. But, Moreno's a good fighter. I could certainly, like I said, I see this one being very close and, probably controversial. Probably, something we end up having to talk about next week on CKE number 30, I believe. I think we're breaking the 30.
That's right. On the betting end, let's make us some money, Zach. All right. We have the assassin baby, Brandon Moreno, the champion, coming in as a slight favorite, -175, to retain his belt. And on the other side, we have Deiveson Figueiredo, the former champion, coming at +157 is the best you can get him at. That's pretty much as close as a toss-up as you're going to get for a trilogy championship fight like this, man. I mean, no, I don't think there's anybody calling for one or the other pretty staunchly besides ourselves. But, I think this is probably going to go all 5 rounds, considering the nature of the flyweight division. And just being a 125-pound man is pretty scary.
Damn.
Psych!
You want to hear something crazy?
What?
So the odds for this fight opened September 21st, and Moreno opened as a -185 favorite. He's only dropped down to -178. I mean, this fight, Vegas pretty much hit the hammer or hit the nail on the head with this one, man.
They got two birds stoned at once.
I mean, Brandon Moreno seems in everybody's head to be right under that 2-1 favorite, which, I mean, for my sake, for my case, shit, make him 3-1. I mean, give me my plus money, because I think Figueiredo is going to do it here. But looking at the props, +134 for just flat out fight goes to decision. Love it, man. Love it.
I think that's easy money.
And then look down here, Figueiredo wins by decision is +500. I mean, shit. Don't tempt me with a good time.
All right,
Would
that's
I?
both of these are nice. I don't know why they're so fucking high. I mean, I don't know who like don't fucking bet the money line on this one if you're not confident. Bet this shit. Fucking hedge your shit again. Plus 275 plus 500. You're fucking making money there all day. I don't give a fuck who you are. I'm gonna be the rain. You don't have to be the rain man.
Amen to that. Enough said.
Enough fucking said. That's good shit right there, Zach.
I mean, look, as much as I love to agree with you, I love to disagree a little bit more.